Hi, Barbie, and welcome to episode 230 of the Good Kraken podcast. I am one of your hosts today, Ernell Pearson, alongside the man who's doing the greatest review of all time with me, Garrick Bartholomew. Eaton. What's happening, Garrick?
It's fucking Barbenheimer
It's
Day,
fucking
baby.
Barbenheimer Day,
Dude,
dude.
I have
Let's
been looking
go.
forward to this. I have really been looking forward to actually doing this review and just seeing both of these films. Like literally, like they both everyone's just like I can't tell you how many looks. Like I got a surprising amount of looks when everyone's like, "What are you doing this weekend?" And I was like, "Going to go see the Barbie movie."
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
Oppenheimer. And they were just like, "You're gonna go see Barbie?" And I was just like, "You're fucking not."
Yeah,
I was
right?
like
Fucking losers.
I was like,
know
"What do you
I
mean, man?" I was like, "Don't be like." I was like, you're just a fucking sad sack who doesn't like cool things."
Right, dude. Dude, I was talking about it like all week at work, and then yesterday at work, and I like wore a pink shirt, and like it was fucking great, dude.
Yeah, I wore like a pink getup to the Barbie movie with my wife, like straight up, man.
It was so good, dude. I'm so fucking excited, dude. So the theater last night. Right, so we saw Barbie this morning, but we saw Oppenheimer last night, and Oppenheimer and Barbie must have like finished at the exact same time last night, because as I was leaving the theater, it was a massive crowd of people leaving the mall, and half of those people were dressed normal and the other half were dressed like Barbie characters. And it was
I
one
bet,
of the
dude.
coolest fucking things I've ever seen. Like seeing just like a mass crowd of people just covered in hot pink. Like it's
Dude,
so good, dude.
I actually think the weird competitive nature that these two films released around amped
Right,
both
right.
of them up. I really think it got more butts and seats because like they were in we these very weird polar opposite films.
Right, right.
Like they couldn't have been more tonally different if you tried. And but they were both these like surreal, amazing experiences. I don't know. I'm really excited to talk about these movies.
I'm so excited to talk about this with you, dude. And I hope you guys at home are excited too, because this is the Good Kraken podcast, your choice for all the nerdy video game and pop media news, reviews, and discussions that you want to hear. Live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. and Saturdays at 12 p.m. If you're on this wave, you can head on over to our Discord channel where you can get things like early content. You can get exclusive stuff. You can submit questions and topics, right, Garrick? Tell them all about it.
Yeah. You can do that for like our
and-
Super X show and stuff. It's fun.
Yeah, it's a good time, dude. And you can have early access to episodes before they go live on podcasts and video services across the digital sea. Thank you, sir. But if you've emptied your pockets for the latest and greatest in entertainment, that is totally fine. You can watch us record the show live right here at twitch.tv/Good Kraken Show. If you have Amazon Prime, you also have Twitch Prime. DJ, thank you. And we would love for you to give that to us to help keep us pushing content out for all of you that are listening or watching at home. But you can also support us by going to our YouTube channel, clicking that beautiful bell and big red button, or by subscribing to our podcast channel by searching for Good Kraken with an exclamation mark and leaving a review there. DJ typed it in chat. Prime Gaming.
Prime Gaming.
Garrick,
What?
we have a captain's order, my friend. Guys, the newest episode of the Shipwreck Show is live on your podcast service of choice and on YouTube. We got a chance to talk about a merry band of things, but more specifically, got to talk about how good Xander would look if he was baking bread.
Naked.
Butt ass naked, stark naked. You know what I'm saying? The only way we need Xander is just in the butt. You know what I mean? Fucking good for us, baby. You know what I'm saying? Garrick, my man, let's get right into the goody goods, because we have two movies that we're reviewing today, and we're doing it for a headlining segment. Garrick, what is that, my friend?
We're headed to the gallows.
Protect your nerd.
We're taking it.
Guys, we are talking Barbenheimer. Barbie and Oppenheimer, baby. Let's start with Barbie. Okay, we have Barbie in review for you guys. And a little quick synopsis here. Barbie and Ken are having the time of their lives in the colorful and seemingly perfect world of Barbie Land. However, when they get a chance to go to the real world, they soon discover the joys and perils of living among humans. Oh boy. Released
Oh boy.
July 21st, 2023. Directed by Greta Gerwig with a budget of $145 million. Wildly enough, a bigger budget than Oppenheimer at $100 million. Who fucking would have thought, dude? But Barbie is running a box office so far of $70.5 million and a runtime of an hour and 54 minutes. Oh boy. Actually, that felt good. It felt good for this movie.
It did.
It felt
didn't
really,
overstay
really
its
good.
welcome.
The Bechdel test is a measure of representation of women in film and other fiction. The test asks whether a work features at least two women who talk to each other about something other than a man for more than 1 minute of screen time. Does Barbie pass the Bechdel test? Absolutely, it does.
It would be fucked up if it didn't.
It would be super fucked up because of because of what's going on in this fucking movie.
It'd be fucked up if it didn't. But
Also-
boy, howdy does it.
It would have been kind of funny too. If they even did it.
A
I'm
little
like,
bit.
fucking really? What the fuck, dude? Like, yeah, no,
How?
but they absolutely do. Absolutely. Now let's talk a little bit about Oppenheimer here for a quick second. During World War II, Lieutenant General Leslie Groves Jr. appoints physicist J. Robert Oppenheimer to work on the top secret Manhattan Project. Oppenheimer and a team of scientists spend years developing and designing the atomic bomb. Their work comes to fruition on July 16th, 1945, as they witness the world's first nuclear explosion, forever changing the course of history. Released also on July 21st, 2023. Directed and written by Christopher Nolan again. Who fuck would have thought this guy could write and direct just masterpiece after masterpiece like this? I don't fucking know.
Dude, he's got it in him.
He was just born with it, you know what I'm saying? With a budget, as you mentioned earlier, of $100 million. Box office so far of $33 million. Again, I mean, it's not surprising, though. Everyone knows Barbie. Not everybody's going to be interested in a biopic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But a very perfect, clean, exact 3-hour runtime. Oh, boy. Jesus Christ. Does Oppenheimer pass the Bechdel test? No.
Dude,
It does not. It does not. Yeah.
I was trying to think really hard about it, and there's only a few, there's only really two women that are primarily featured in the film,
And they
And
rarely talk to each other. Like,
I think they literally did once.
It's one scene that these
one
women
time
interact.
at a party,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
and then never again. And
And
was
it really is like the testament of the womanizing side of Oppenheimer that they kind of touch on. And
dude, and just
boy.
and just like how historically accurate it kind of was. They really painted the picture. They're like, this was 1945 was a men's world. That's the way they portrayed it. A fucked up one. But that's what happens when
Goddamn, baby.
when a bunch of Oonga Boonga dudes are in charge all the time.
That's for damn sure. Garrick, let's just get right into it, man. I mean, we talked a second ago before we went live, and we decided that we'll take on Oppenheimer first, my friend. So let's fucking do it. Garrick Bartholomew Eaton, what were your top level thoughts of Oppenheimer?
Wow. That was my first immediate thought was just wow.
Yeah, that's
Just
for damn
wow.
sure.
I'm gonna say it one more time.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
This film was an experience, and a very sobering one, one that really made you think, one that portrayed the history of this nation and the trajectory that we set ourselves on in an accurate light, while also not undermining the grave consequences of one man's pursuit of science. and what an individual might go through to achieve such terrible greatness, right?
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
really what this is. Like, I can't be like Oppenheimer can't be described any other way. Like, this man was great. He was this terribly great man who literally saw the world in a light that no other person dared to choose to see the world in. Even one of his dearest friends, Albert Einstein, was just like, I can't do what you're doing.
Hmm.
He's like, now it's your turn to be magnificent and take on all that entails. And that's what this story is really all about. This is about the rise and fall and re-rise of Oppenheimer, and like the great tale that is his life. And I was enthralled. Not once did I feel the weight of the runtime of this film. I was in it, in it. Like, everybody played their part spectacularly. I cannot applaud Cillian Murphy enough. He was captivating. I didn't want to look away when he was on screen. I wanted to hang on every single word that came out of this mouth as him as J. Robert Oppenheimer. I wanted to absorb this great history and knowledge that was just being flooded into my brain through this beautiful cinematography. Oh my hell, the beautiful cinematography. And it uses this fantastic disposition of color and black and white to try to give you the two perspectives that the story is taking place from the perspective of J. Robert Oppenheimer, and then Robert Downey Jr.'s character. Oh, what was his name? Who did he play? Sorry, there was a lot of historical figures.
Yeah.
Louis Strauss. He played General Louis, or a former General Louis Strauss, who at the time is he is trying to achieve a position in cabinet.
Yes.
And so we have these two very opposing views of these men that are like their destinies are forcefully entangled. They literally can't get away from one another, but they have these views of one another that are polar opposite, and it's driving these forces in just this magnificently catastrophic way. And ultimately, like, it tells the tale of how Oppenheimer ultimately opposes. He did something magnificent, and he realized the consequences of that, and then he goes on to, historically oppose the thing that he created, and lose all credibility, because everybody was essentially like, you were a man who you gave this to the world, and now you're saying no, don't use this thing. And President Truman, he didn't listen, and basically it tells the story of how now we exist in a world with 12,000 nuclear weapons,
Yeah.
and why we live in that world, and the consequences of why we live in that world, and how dangerous it truly is to be here.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%, man. This this movie is a fucking work of art, dude. I mean, like, this, like, Christopher Nolan, we know historically he just has it, man. Like we said earlier, he was just fucking born that way, dude.
It's the dog in him.
Yeah, it is the dog. You know what I'm saying? It's the dragon in him. God damn, son. Like, he just fucking does it time and time again, man. Like, this, you're right. The 3 hours of this movie did not feel like 3 hours, because, like, actually, no, let me take that back. It does feel like 3 hours, but it's probably one of the best 3 hours I've ever fucking experienced, because,
But
like,
it feels like worthy of your time.
because this movie starts and never settles down. Like, it was almost exhausting watching this movie, because for those 3 hours it is go 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 go, even during moments that are seemingly like lower in energy than other scenes of this movie are also very like go go go, because they're pivotal to kind of putting a bow on the story of the man that is Oppenheimer. And the way that they present that story in the fashion that they did was just nothing short of impressive. I mean, like, it's impressive, this fucking movie, because, like, not just like because of what they do in it and how they tell the story, but the amount of like studying that had to be done in this to make this, to create this, make the story come to life again. It's just remarkable, man. Like I remember hitting like halfway through this movie and just being like, dude, I can't believe that, like, I believe this. Like, I believe that he is Oppenheimer, and like everything in this story right now is just feels like what we were a part of all of it as we're
Just
watching.
you felt living history. You felt like you were living the history.
Yes, and like, and having it being a biopic that like we're watching in this movie, because this movie is a biopic. It, like, you don't get that a lot with biopics. Like, sometimes you're watching, you're like, oh, I'm kind of just getting the backstory told to me, and that's cool, and I'm learning about this person. This feels like you're a part of everything that was going on and everything that unfolded, and fucking wow, dude. This movie has just a fucking star-studded cast. And like, after the initial like 20 minutes, I mean, like, we have our main characters, obviously, with and I did get confirmation, it is Killian. Apparently it is Killian. But
All right.
yeah, I was saying Cillian for a long time myself too. So we have Cillian Murphy, we have Robert Downey Jr., we have Matt Damon playing as the guy who's sort of like overseeing everything that's happening. But from that point of the initial, get go, the cameos start, and it's just cameo after cameo after cameo. Like, they have actors that I forgot even fucking existed. Like and they're in this movie to play one role for like a minute, and then they're gone. And it's just
And some of them are so crucial.
like, some of them are like
these
important people. Like,
Yeah, really important people. Like the dude whose entire job it was to stop the detonation of the atomic bomb.
Dude,
Should it go awry? Josh Peck.
Josh Peck,
Okay,
yeah, out of fucking
like-
nowhere, dude. Like, we had like Josh Peck, Devin Bostic, Rami Malek, fucking Jack Quaid's
Jack
in this fucking
Quaid.
movie. Emily Blunt plays Oppenheimer's wife. Like, we had David Dasmalchian, I think is how you pronounce his name. Fucking Matthias Schweighofer, like Josh Hartnett. Are you fucking kidding me? Josh Hartnett's
Yeah,
in this
dude,
fucking
it
movie,
was-
Garrick. Like,
It was I don't know, the cast was bonkers. It was like there was just so many, and they didn't waste any of them. Even like the people with the smaller, more bit like roles, like they still felt like they got their screen time, and it felt impactful for what they were trying to do. Like this was their moment in history. Live this with them. Okay, you lived this with them. Now back to J. Robert Oppenheimer's like moment in time and his perspective. And so was your guys'? So my theater was sold out for Oppenheimer.
yeah, ours was too.
Like,
Ours
full.
was too. Yeah.
And I sincerely hope that if you go to see this in theaters, that you get this experience that I did. But there was a moment in this film where it was silent.
Yeah. Dead silent.
And I mean, the audience, you could feel the audience shut the fuck up.
There wasn't a
It
goddamn
was-
beat, man. Like,
No, like
holy
you
shit,
could
dude.
hear a mouse fart in that theater. It was so dead quiet. It was like, and leading up, which was crazy because I was so stressed up, and like I was getting heart palpitations like leading
Yeah.
up to this moment, and it just lets it hang
Yeah.
for like uncomfortably
an
long
uncomfortable,
time.
like 5 minutes, dude. Like,
You're
it just
just
kind of
like,
sits.
Oh fuck! You're like, oh fuck!
Yeah.
Oh fuck!
Dude.
And then like it all just literally the sound floods back, and like your ears probably experienced the same popping that theirs did, and you're like
Yeah.
your chest like heaves, dude. I don't know. It was monumental.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. when I wrote that part specifically, like, took my breath away. Like, I realized halfway through that silence that, like, I was holding my breath,
Holding your breath.
and like I was just
Yes.
like, oh my god, oh fuck, dude, like yeah, man, you guys get the point. Like, this movie is such a monumental task that was done with such perfection and grace and love, and like I saw a lot of people say like this movie could potentially be like the greatest movie of our time, and fucking A, man, like there's an argument to be had, like, because this is gold, dude. Like,
I genuinely believe that this might be Nolan's like magnum opus, dude. Like looking at his list of works, his worst film is like a 7 out of 10.
yeah,
His worst film is like still a good ass movie.
Yeah.
And like, you know, but this was just something else. I normally, like, I enjoy history, but it takes a lot for me to be invested and wanting to learn about it. And this was incredible. Like, I feel the need to go see this in theaters again because it's such a powerful theater experience. I know once it's gone, I'm not going to get it.
Yeah, 100%. Well, and that's good to mention too, because like they filmed this movie with a lot of intent. There's, for you guys at home, there's scenes that are full in full IMAX color, and then there's scenes that are in standard black and white, not like filtered to black and white. They're filmed in standard black and white, which is why it still looks fucking great even during the black and white scenes that we're experiencing anything to do with like the Strauss
sort of that black and white, that little coppery beige filter that you kind of do. It felt perfect for like the period. Oh,
so with that said though, like, you guys, like, I know we're early here, like, you guys need to see this in a theater. You guys need to see this in a theater. Like,
yeah,
even more so, I might argue you have to see it in at least IMAX, because there's like fucking go on, I'm having a brain fart right now. The bars that are on the fucking movie, the dimensions of the film.
Oh yes, the film ratio it's specifically filmed for IMAX. Like, Christopher Nolan himself was just like, if you want to experience this movie, like audio and auditorily and visually to its maximum, you should see it in IMAX, and like,
because
there was like a specific ratio. IMAX 70 millimeter.
Yeah, 70 millimeter. That's what it was. So they fill the screen for this movie if you see it in IMAX. Like, the entire screen is filled, and it like was a testament to show like how important it was to them for them to display that this was a massive thing that happened, and having it like do that to represent that like Oppenheimer was a massive man, like he was a massive person in history, how important he was to the world that we live in now, even, and how just grandiose his being was even back then in the making of the atom bomb. And like they did every choice that they made was huge to make it feel huge, because as far as like a biopic is concerned, it typically biopics feel grounded because it's a reality story, and so like it feels like, okay, cool, it's like it's a guy, it's a woman, it's a person, and they're doing their thing. We're like, this movie represents it in a way that feels like a universe, you know, like it feels like a world in action that is constantly moving around what is happening with Oppenheimer. Like, he was more than just a man, and they made it feel like that. That's exactly what I was gonna
say. He feels like more than a man. There is like more than one scenario where he literally, like, the people around him, like, the man's hubris had to be out the fucking window, because like people around him literally would tell him to his face that he was seen as damn near prophetic, right? That you were a step above everyone else, and you have to be this way. Like, this man was just all for the pursuit of like this, you know, beating the Nazis in this grand race. Dude, it was, I don't know, it was just something else. I can't stress enough. Yeah, you need to see this in theaters. I know we normally do that a little bit at the end, but like
Yeah, right.
it's integral to this film. It needs
Yeah,
to be seen in
it
theaters.
very much is. Like, if you don't have like a home theater setup or some shit, you are missing out on a lot of experience in this fucking movie. I mean, like, I spent a good amount of time trying to find something that I could pick apart in this film. Something, anything, just trying to grab for anything that I could possibly say. I was like, oh, okay, maybe the 3 hours is gonna be so daunting that it's like it doesn't work for me or something. Not even that. I can't find a single fucking thing wrong with this movie. That, like, it has everything that you possibly could fucking need out of a good biopic, out of a good movie. It's visually stunning. Cillian Murphy, every single actor in this movie is believable and fucking kills it. You get to see Florence Pugh's titties. Like this movie has everything that you could possibly fucking ask for. And like this, it's fucking magnificent, man. This movie's goddamn fucking magnificent, dude. As DJ says, Oppenheimer is a banger. It's a fucking
Literally
bombshell,
and
dude.
figuratively.
Like, yeah, it's goddamn, dude. This movie is good. God, the cast still fucking blows me away, dude. When Gary Oldman shows up on screen as the president,
As Truman,
I was like, shut the fuck up. You guys got Gary Oldman back, dude. Like,
that man can that man can trans fucking form like no other, dude. He has played, I think, more historical figures than anybody else in Hollywood at this point.
I mean, talk about range, right? Like, this dude just can play fucking anything, man. I fucking convinced, dude.
Like when he did Churchill.
Yeah, dude. Well, sure.
He's
I just like this
He's
man.
crazy.
This man has touched everything from the fucking bad guy in The Fifth Element to this, and it's just across the board. Gary Oldman's the fucking dude, man. But I mean, like, it didn't even stop there. Like, Casey Affleck showed up. Like, fucking who else did we get? We got Sadie Stratton fucking showed out of fucking nowhere. Matthew Modine. Like, the fucking cast just didn't fucking end, dude. Like, I started giggling under my breath every single time another person would come up, and I'm just like,
what the fuck?
Christopher Nolan has pull like this, dude. Like, he just said, hey, I'm making a movie, you want to be in it? And they're like, fucking yeah.
I went and saw Oppenheimer with Storm, and like when Josh Peck came out, he like looked at me, and I started fucking giggling, and he was just like, Josh Peck? And I was like, that's Josh Peck. And he was just like, what the fuck?
It's Josh Peck, dude. Like, I was just fucking stunned, dude. Yeah, man. I mean, I don't really have like a whole much else that I can really say. Like people just need to see this goddamn movie, dude. Like, I was people talk about, like, yeah, potentially leaving the theater and just being like dumbfounded, and I was. Like, I really did not have a whole lot that I could fucking say after seeing this goddamn movie, dude. Like,
this is definitely one of those films where like you're gonna go watch it and then you're gonna think about your life for a couple of days. Like, it just has that effect. Like, everybody should go see it. Like, just go live that, like, this harrowingly like powerful part of history, like, through like Christopher Nolan's like fantastic perspective.
I do also want to iterate too, because I saw a few posts over the course of this week that had concerns about not wanting to see this movie because they don't advocate for the death of the Japanese people that suffered from the atom bomb. And I want to make sure that it's understood that, like, this movie
this is not pro-war.
This isn't pro-war whatsoever. No. This movie does not express any sort of leniency towards like wanting to support what had happened during that time. It actually exclusively talks against it. It speaks against it, because this movie is about more than just this man that did something insane in this world. It's also about his regret of doing so. And like, that conversation in and of itself, I think that if you're someone who advocated against what had happened in World War II, I think that gives you more of a reason to see this, honestly, because this movie's on your side. And like, it
absolutely,
yeah.
This movie is a lesson and a warning. Like, that's what this film really. This is probably one of the most like staunchly like anti-war films, like, because it paints a very clear picture of 1945 terrified of communism America.
Yeah.
Like, and like, especially as a white dude, like watching this movie, like there were some times I was just like, fuck, this is really how we thought all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
this was our perspective on the world. This was like our government's perspective on the. That's so scary to
Yeah.
think that like literally just like communicating with a group of individuals like bars you from like portions of existence. Like
Yeah.
that was it painted a portrait of a very terrifying America. I think the only movie I've seen that is more anti-war than this is All Is Quiet on the Western Front.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was purposefully like aiming to do
And
that.
that's literally purposely anti-war.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Dude, this, yeah. You guys need to see this goddamn movie, man. I can't make that even more resounding than that, dude. Like this movie is incredible. Garrick, let's move away from Oppenheimer for a second. Let's kind of come into the pink, if you will. You know what I'm saying? The pink and the stank. You know what I mean? Was that not? No? Okay.
Cease and desist.
All right. That's fair. That's totally fair. Garrick, my dude, let's talk about another movie that we've been graced by, my friend, and that is Barbie. Garrick, my dude, give me your top level thoughts on Barbie.
Gotta reset my mindset for this one.
Put the feelings down for a moment.
Gotta put the feelings down. Pick up the fun box. I was not expecting like 90% of this movie to be what it was.
Yeah, absolutely, dude.
There were the message of the film. I would have been remiss if that kind of wasn't what it was ultimately. I would have been like, yeah, that's what Barbie's intent was to empower women. It didn't work that way, right? That's kind of what the movie tells us. Like it literally did the exact opposite.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like, this movie is so interesting because it is very honest with itself about what Barbie is and about what Barbie represents and what Barbie did represent in the 90s and how it affected young women all over the world and their perspective of themselves.
To this day.
To this day, yeah. Like this movie is incredibly self-aware and it loves Barbie and shames Barbie at the same time.
Yeah.
And it does this by writing this beautifully like self-deprecating line that I fucking kind of loved. Honestly, like it hooked into like this weirdly dark sense of humor that the movie had.
Yeah.
Which I thought was funny because the whole movie is so bubbly and bright and like when whenever like the perfect like to set the tone, like when they finish their little song and she's like, anybody ever think about death?
Yeah, right.
And you're like, oh, okay, that's how this movie is gonna be. Like this, here we go.
Another uncomfortable silence.
And then and then a different sort of uncomfortable silence sets in. Yeah. And then you know, like from here, like Barbie starts experiencing like these real people feelings, right? Not Barbie feelings.
Yeah.
That she was used to experiencing, living the perfect day every day in Barbie land, and she goes to the real world to realize that Barbie has in fact not had the impact that those in Barbie land had always been given the perception of, that they really hadn't helped all of the young women of the world in the way that they had helped. And in fact, they had painted quite a different picture for themselves, in that Barbie was kind of like this fascist icon for unrealistic, you know, ideologies for women, and it still is to this day. And it wasn't afraid to tote that line. Down to the point to where like it literally makes a joke that like if they really wanted to sell the message about how like Barbie isn't like this perfectly pretty amazing girl, they shouldn't have cast Margot Robbie in the role.
That was the best part of
They literally paused the movie and they were just like, by the way, if you really wanted to drive this home, she wasn't the person for it. And I bet you she signed off on the joke.
So fucking good, dude.
It was the fact how ridiculous, how meta and self-aware this film was amazing. It was almost, this movie is fun and bombastic in the same way, like the same fun that like the Lego movie was.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Like like it harnesses like that same sort of fun. Like it not doesn't take itself very seriously, but it does so in such a way that it like elevates the viewing experience, because we're talking about fucking toys.
Right.
Like that's, we're talking about goddamn dolls. Like at the end of the day. And like it was so funny down to like the like Alan like being like all the discontinued dolls that they like cameoed in. The fact that Alan was like a low key, Alan was like my favorite character.
Yeah,
He was like like yo want some more Alan? Like why was he a badass for no
why
reason?
was he so cool,
Like
dude?
why was he just kicking ass? Dude, like I loved like just like the cameo characters, like getting to like kind of meet you know, like the creator of Barbie. And it was very interesting how much fun the film allowed itself to have, while also fitting in like this very like there was a chunk of the film around the, I would say, yeah, about the ending of the second act, where like it really drives home, like, and the film takes a moment uh to make you understand what it's really about.
Right.
Like really about. They're like, okay, we're like, we know you've been having lots of fun. We're having lots of fun too, but this is why we did this. This is why we really made this movie. Like to really truly send a message to all of those young women out there, to anybody who identifies with Barbie,
Right.
right? To this day, anybody who identifies with Barbie, and letting them be seen in a way that feels genuine, in a way that Barbie as a franchise, as a brand, hasn't done
Yes.
in a very long time. And this was a very inclusive film. And I was actually very interested going into this movie, wondering how they were going to get in some of that inclusivity. I will say, from a viewer's perspective, some of the inclusivity did feel like they just dropped it in there to be like, hey, we did that. Did you see?
Yeah.
Sometimes, but they did their very best to include people from all shapes and walks of life, and I really, really appreciated that. Even if it did feel a touch forced at times.
Yes.
The movie's weird shift in tone, from being overly fun to having a very, very serious message. I loved the message. I really, really, truly did. I want to make that very known. Like, I thought the message was needed and important. I just wish it was sewn into the narrative of the film just a little bit better than it was. Because I think what ultimately ended up being kind of funny was Ryan Gosling's character, Ken. One of the Kens. He's the Ken. He's the Ken.
Yes.
Ends up being like this weird, just like, scene stealer all of the time.
All the time, yeah.
Which drives home the opposite message as the film intended. Which I found comical. Not in like the you guys are doing a bad job, just that like that was really funny, even though you guys didn't mean it to be that way. And I actually really loved it. Like Ken and Alan were definitely like my favorite parts of this movie. I just enjoyed they had some of the best jokes, some of my favorite punchlines, some of like their best the best moments. Like the double sunglasses thing was funny as shit to me. And
I bet. I fucking bet. Yeah, I can go too.
Like, I just really enjoyed this movie and just found it to be very genuine and self-aware about what Barbie actually is, as opposed to what they want Barbie to be, and trying to push Barbie in that direction, and kind of in this way, like through this film. And I appreciated what they did.
Hell yeah, man. So this movie's magnificent also. Like, it's surprisingly so. I went into it kind of not really expecting much more than just a, fun little goofy story thing. But this movie was far more existential than I think anyone was honestly prepared for, because this movie talks about like a multitude of things a multitude of different themes are kind of like wading around the waters that is this Barbie movie. Everything from the way women represent themselves to how men can identify themselves solely just, on their own. Like it also talks about humanity and
This feels so great. I love this. I feel perfectly loved and accepted and safe with no undertone of violence. Mine definitely has an undertone of violence.
Dude, it's just like
You're just like, ooh, and like, did you kind of cringe a little bit? And you're like, it's true though.
Yeah, so like that's what I was telling Marilyn on our way home was like they started diving into the Ken stuff a little bit deeper, and when I felt myself cringing was when I had the realization of like, I'm cringing because this is true. Like, men are like this. Like, and
Dude,
that's so
my
fucking
God.
fundamentally disappointing. And I want to, take that conversation on a little bit too, because I saw a lot of articles and a lot of people saying that they felt that this movie was just man hating the entire time. And like, my perception of this on that end is you must have fucking translated something here.
I have had this sentence rolling around in my head since I have walked out of the theater just so I could speak it today on this podcast.
Okay.
If you are offended in any way by the Barbie movie, you were the person they wanted to be offended by
this
the Barbie
movie. Yes, 100%, dude.
You should take a little bit of time to look at yourself in the mirror, maybe take off your extra pair of sunglasses, and tone down your toxic masculinity a touch.
Dude, 100%, dude. Like that's the entire point, man. Like, when he starts talking about it, he's like, and then I realized horses are just an extension of men.
Just man extenders, dude. I fucking died.
I fucking lost my fucking mind, dude. There's so many things in this movie that are just so intellectually well fucking written, that like, from the dialogue to like moments, and like even like Will Ferrell being in this fucking movie. I saw him and I was like, God fucking damn it. Like, I didn't want
He was well used.
And he was well used too. Like, exactly. Like, they pieced together this movie so brilliantly in like a way that like I don't think any of us were really honestly truly prepared for. Like the way that this movie has its layers and has its conversations that it wants to have very, very cleanly, was shocking to me. Like, I really did not think I was going to enjoy this movie all that much. I thought it would be at least like a 7, and I would like be cool with that, and like that's fine. But this movie was like way fucking better than I had any right being for Barbie. You know what I mean? Like, for a toy, right? Like, and so it feels good to be able to come here and tell everybody, like, yeah, honestly, you should kind of fucking see this movie, because like, this movie was a fucking good time. And this is another one that I also want to watch again. Like, I want to see Barbie a second time, because there was some stuff in this movie that I was like, this was fucking fun, dude. Like, because it gave us the existential crisis that Oppenheimer was like purposely giving us, but it gave it to us in a way that was more palatable. You know what I mean?
Dude,
that, like,
the macabre humor in this was on like another level. It was
unreal.
like, I was not expecting like some of like the like, just like, because it'd be like fun and bubbly, like blah blah blah, and then it would just kind of pan to Margot Robbie, and she would just say like this out of pocket shit, and you'd be like, damn, girl, are you okay?
Right?
Like, I know you're not, but are you okay? Like,
well, then even Ken too. Like, it just like all the Kens have like say something like super fucked up in this movie at some point or another.
They have like no identity of their own. Okay, look, what's really interesting to me is like if you want to, the movie takes this perspective, and it takes the Kens and it puts them on a very similar level to women in the 1920s. As far as like it makes them like a second class citizen.
Yeah.
They don't have any right. Like, there was literally like, they were just like, where do the Kens live? And they're like, I don't know.
I have no
right?
clue.
Like, and then even at the picture, even at the end of the film, it was just like, now maybe the Kens will have almost,
Yeah,
and it even says
almost.
almost
Yeah,
as much influence as the Barbies do,
yeah,
right? And
yeah,
you're just like, yikes, dude.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
that was another cringy moment. You're like, it's fucking true again.
It is. Yeah, it is because like that self awareness is just so like God, man, I don't know. The conversation with like inside of this movie is so fucking woke in the right ways, in the best fucking ways on the planet, like ever. And I really want people to see this fucking movie, man, because like especially dudes. I want dudes to see this fucking
Yes.
movie because it is like for the ladies, it was a conversation around like feeling good about yourself and like wanting
Yeah,
to make sure
self-love.
that you're like the self-love here, like you need to make sure that you're feeling good about like who you are. You can be anybody and have things wrong with you and still be perfect, right? And for the guys, it was this lesson of like you need to fucking chill. Like,
Yeah.
you need
Stop
to
being
fucking
so
chill, dude. Like,
goddamn extra all the fucking time. Dude, what was it called? What was his house called?
Ken's
Ken's. It was like
Mojo
Mojo
Dojo Casa
Kojo
House.
Casa House.
And when they
Like,
make the
that's
phone call, and he's like, "They're selling out of the warehouse, man." That's so fucking good. And then, like them be like, "You
man.
don't need to say dojo and house
And
and casa."
it's like, but it sounds so good to say.
Garrick, let's tie things off here, my friend. Oppenheimer. Should people see it in theaters, and what is your rating?
Seeing this in theaters should be priority numero uno for anybody who has ever said the words "I love movies." Like, this is just a work of art from top to bottom, from audio to visuals to cinematography to casting to performance to impact to writing. It is chef's kiss, a perfect 10 out of 10 film.
Doubly so, my friend. If you like movies, you need to see Oppenheimer, hands down. Like in theaters, go as soon as you possibly fucking can. Do not miss the moment to be able to experience this fucking movie. It is incredible. This is a 10 out of 10. Absolutely any day of the week. Like I was super hyped on Dune 2, and I still am. But like I've got a fucking gut feeling like this movie's it, man. Like this movie is like it's hard, man. It's
I had the
hard,
same
but like
thought. I was like, oh,
fuck,
fuck,
man.
Dune's not going to be better than
This
this.
is like fuck, man. Like really with Oppenheimer, dude. Like they and like it feels good to say that because I know we had a lot of mixed feelings about Tenet, and like we, obviously we love Christopher Nolan and his work. Tenet was not the bar we were hoping it would be. And Oppenheimer, as Devin in chat says,
Yes.
was everything we needed it to be. As far as a movie is being concerned, this movie is incredible. Absolutely see this. It's a 10 out of 10 from both me and Garrick here at Good Kraken. You need to see Oppenheimer. Now, Garrick, let's talk Barbie, my guy. Should people see Barbie in theaters, and what is your score?
Yeah, and honestly, why don't you do yourselves just a little favor, right? Just make it an outing. Take your family, take your partner, make a day of it. Get yourself some. I'm gonna recommend it in the order that you see Oppenheimer and then Barbie, so that at least when you have the existential dread coupled with the Barbie's existential dread, it's bubbly at the end, so it kind of balances out.
Yeah, of course.
But like seriously, this is another one you really should go see it in theaters. And honestly, I think if you have the opportunity to see both of these in one day, like go see one, go have a dinner or a lunch and then go see the other one, make an event of it. It is worth it. Go see Barbie in theaters. Like, I think this has a very important message for young women these days. I think this has a very important message for anybody who has issues with self-worth and seeing themselves as value to others or through the perspective of others. And I think that I'm with Ernell. If you are a toxic extra macho doo-doo head, like, I think somebody needs to strap you into a fucking chair, sit you through this movie, and like let this movie just slowly re-educate you into not being an asshole.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. Yeah, no, people should see this in theaters. I think that this was a very, very good time. It's not so much just for the theater experience, the way that we say with Oppenheimer, where like you need to see that in like full scale IMAX ASAP. This is more so you can experience this with everybody, because people are going to talk about these two movies. People are really going to talk about Barbie. Wholeheartedly, I think Barbie is going to be talked about for a really, really long time. It is a generational film, where Oppenheimer is like a film. It is a film we will remember until the end of time. Oppenheimer is, but Barbie's like it's a movie that like our generation and the younger generation needed. And I want you guys at home to be a part of that conversation too, because like you're gonna see a lot of Barbie quotes for a while. You're gonna see a lot of Barbie quotes because it is just quote
it's
after
very
quote
quotable.
after quote. This is a like.
I didn't give my rating.
For Barbie. Oh yeah, that's right. Sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. We just ran into it. Barbie is going to be a 9.5 for me.
I like that. Okay. 9.5. 9.5.
Mm-hmm.
Barbie's gonna be a 9.5 for me as well. I'm really leaning towards 10, but I can see why you're giving the 0.5, right? I can see where that is, because like comparatively to an Oppenheimer, that is like perfection. It is seamless. It is without crinkles anywhere. Barbie has
and I saw Barbie first, so I've had time to think about where like I stand with Barbie a little bit longer than Oppenheimer.
Yeah. Barbie is just a smidgen less of what I got out of Oppenheimer, where Oppenheimer was like watching a fucking fireworks show. Barbie was like the fireworks show, but shorter. You know what I mean? It's like but just like a 15-minute shorter.
Like,
you know what I mean?
Finale off at the end of the fireworks show. You know where they blow off all the fireworks and they wrap it up. Like it's missing that piece.
Yeah,
like, you just get like the really pretty lead up, and you're just like, oh, it's over now?
Like maybe not even that far. Like maybe like it does have the finale, but it's not as big as that fireworks finale.
It's just smaller.
You know,
yeah.
it's just a little bit less.
You're like looking across the field, and you're like, those fucking fireworks. Well, those guys' fireworks.
God damn,
they
got a fucking dragon come out of that thing. Jesus Christ!
I want to go watch their fireworks just a little bit more than I want to watch my horse. Yeah, just a little bit.
Hey, this was cool, but like fucking hey, man, they have
that over there was pretty tight.
Rocket explosion, dude. That's crazy, man. Yeah, Barbie definitely a 9.5. From me as well. It just had maybe the main thing that I was troubled with Barbie is like some of the bombastiousness I could have done without. It was mostly circulating around the like CEO guys. Like if they weren't in the movie, I might have felt a little bit better about it, because I felt like their stuff was kind of like, after we were done with them, I didn't think that we needed them a whole lot more after that. And that was kind of like the thing that I was like, sure, but fine.
That's fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
So with that said, everybody, it's going to be a 10 out of 10 for Oppenheimer here at Good Kraken, and a 9.5 on average for us here at Good Kraken. But let us not forget that DJ, who's currently on vacation, he's on his vacation week here at Good Kraken, but he also saw these movies. Let's talk about DJ's write-in review of Barbenheimer. So let's starting here with Oppenheimer. Going into this film, I had low expectations. Even though Christopher Nolan and a bunch of A-list actors have their name all over this film, I didn't really think a movie about the man who fathered the hydrogen bomb to be any good. I was sorely mistaken. This film is visually fascinating and written in such a way that the lines that are delivered throughout this film can send chills all over your body. The cinematography choices and the use of actual film created stunning visuals. You can almost take any still frame from the movie and make it some type of wallpaper. The editing along with the story create these stressful and anxiety-inducing moments that can bring you to the edge of your seat. It reminds me of Uncut Gems with Adam Sandler, the way these shots are constructed to invoke this emotion. These A-list actors in this film come to play as well. Every character on screen delivers in each of their lines, blocking and body language. These characters push the story along really well and make 2/3 of the movie not seem like the 3-hour runtime. The parallel storytelling between Cillian Murphy's character and Robert Downey Jr.'s character keeps the plot interesting and culminates into a satisfying peak. Oppenheimer deserves all of the 9s and 10s it's been receiving. This is a truly fascinating film and intense film. Fascinating and intense film. You are not just watching this movie, you are an active witness to everything that went on during the time this film took place. It makes you question a lot about society, or how society and the world has progressed or regressed since this moment in history. This movie is a must-see, and I believe it's Christopher Nolan's magnum opus in terms of film. It is a 10 out of 10. There's a lot of boobs and one sex scene, which kind of make you a little uncomfortable. I know what part he's on. Yeah, that part
I know exactly what part he's talking about. And I think it was meant to be uncomfortable.
It was meant, yeah, absolutely.
100%. I think it's really funny that like we have all used some of the exact same wording in our reviews.
Yeah.
And we did not talk about this beforehand at all, nor did Ernell and I read DJ's review before this moment just now. So I want you to know that this movie is having the same level of impact on everybody that is seeing it.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, we don't communicate about anything with our reviews prior to our episodes. Like we'll have very general stuff like, dude, that shit, and we're like, that shit, bro. Like that's it. That's as surface level as we go. But DJ's thoughts on Barbie here. I said at the end of my Oppenheimer review that the film would make you contemplate the world and society. After leaving Barbie, you will contemplate death, the patriarchy, and the journey to find oneself. Never would I have thought I would utter such a sentence, but god damn it, it's fucking true. If you're seeing this as a double feature, you're going to get a lot of entertainment from this film. There's a lot of laughs and jokes that will keep you interested in this story. The actors that embody these dolls do a very great job. Even the human characters are well written, and Will Ferrell was a nice surprise. Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling kill as Barbie and Ken. Gosling especially is a highlight in this film, kind of one of his best characters he's done. 100% agreed. The plot here at its bones is pretty basic, but the way it's handled and how the clever writing create a really solid vehicle for this plot to play out. This movie is an hour and 55 minutes of entertainment, existential dread, jokes, and fulfillment. I highly recommend you go see this movie. Bring a kid or a partner, and I guarantee you'll have an amazing time. Also, a 10 out of 10. Yeah. Both of these movies are fucking magnificent, man. And like, I can't express enough, like, we were not worthy for Barbenheimer. 100%, we were not worthy of Barbenheimer, but we got him. You know what I'm saying?
I feel really bad for like any summer blockbuster that releases after this. Like it's not is.
How is Blue Beetle gonna live up to this?
Like Blue Beetle, dude, I have a feeling Blue Beetle's gonna be like a solid, like at most a 7 out of fucking 10, dude. Like I got.
Right, dude, it's gonna be real hard.
Hold up to these two films, like, and the fact that like I have a strong feeling that Barbie is going to be a much better film than Blue Beetle.
Yeah, dude. I mean, like we have fucking what? Hold on, let me see here. So we still have the Ninja Turtles movie. Meg 2, which we already know is not going to be, that great. That's not hard. Let's see. As far as big blockbusters here, Gran Turismo. I've got a feeling that movie's gonna be fucking awful. Like,
Gran Turismo, dude. It looks fucking cheesy.
It looks fun, but it looks cheesy as shit for sure. Blue Beetle, Strays. Like none of these movies are even coming to touch Barbenheimer in any way,
No.
shape, or form. Even just like looking at them, like there's no fucking way, dude. Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's what we have remaining for the summer until September. Like these movies did it, man. They fucking did it, dude. Like Dune 2 is the only hope for the rest of this year, man. Like that's fucking
Yeah, dude, that's how I'm feeling about it.
man. And even Dune 2 is only going to be like equally as amazing as Oppenheimer. I don't know, man. Like it feels good. You guys need to experience these movies, and you need to experience them as soon as you possibly can. Garrick, let's go ahead and talk about our schedule for next week. So on Tuesday, we have ourselves a Good Kraken podcast. However, our subject for that is still to be decided. We're kind of working out the details on that a little bit. But next Thursday, we have another episode of the Shipwreck Show live right here at twitch.tv/Good Kraken Show, where if you are a subscriber to us and you are in our Discord channel, you have a section there called the Shipwreck Submissions channel, where you can go and you can write in any question you would like for us to answer on the show. We decide which ones could potentially make the best content, and we answer them live for you guys to have a really, really good, ridiculous, over-the-top conversation about, because that's always what it turns into, or it turns into food.
Yeah,
Always.
sometimes both.
Yeah, sometimes both. Yeah, exactly. And then next Friday, we have another Splash Damage multiplayer gameplay stream, where we will be playing a new game that's rolling out called Remnant 2.
It fucking crossplay, man. Come on.
I can't believe they didn't do fucking crossplay for this game. God damn it, dude.
So we're playing it on Xbox, but come on.
Yes, we're playing on Xbox. Unfortunately, that means we can't play with DJ. But god damn it, man. God damn it.
It's only 3-player though, and I don't know if DJ would enjoy. Actually, no, he likes Souls Camp. He probably would enjoy it, actually.
He might enjoy it. He might enjoy
like a
it.
lot.
We'll have to see if Devin got it. But we will find out. In the meantime, next Saturday, we have another Good Kraken podcast. We're going to be doing our official review of Secret Invasion. The finale is next week, and we're going to be finally getting a chance to talk about it.
Have you even watched an episode yet?
Yeah. I have to watch this week's episode still. But yeah, no, we were on top of it. I had a gut feeling that this one's going to be one that I was like, I'm not going to want to miss this. And so far I'm enjoying it. Yeah. So far I'm cool with it. It's a good time. Guys, please let us know how you felt about Barbenheimer. Let us know your thoughts and reviews down in the comments below. Let us know on Discord. Let us know on Twitter. We want to hear from you guys. This has been the Good Kraken Podcast, your choice for all the nerdy video game and pop media news, reviews, and discussions that you wanted to hear. Live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. and Saturdays at 12 p.m. right here at twitch.tv/Good Kraken Show. If you enjoyed the show, you can head on over to our Discord channel where you can submit questions and topics of the show, get exclusive post-show content, and soon have early access to episodes before they go live on podcasts and video services across the digital sea.
Yarg.
You can also support us by going to our YouTube channel, clicking that beautiful bell and big red button, or by subscribing to our podcast channel by searching Good Kraken with an exclamation mark and leaving a review there. We gotta get on out of here, everybody. But until next time, my friends, why didn't Barbie tell me about the patriarchy?
Ken is Ken.
Ken is Ken, and Ken is enough.
Barbenheimer.
Wow.
I hated that
so much. Bye, guys.